Hello, everybody. This is Ncube, the mompreneur. Oh my God, we have gone this far. Today we are on episode 44. Can you guys believe it? It has been such a journey. I've spoken to 44 ladies, no, 43. You know, I'm 43 this year, turning 44. That's why this one is a special one. I am excited to be coming on live today with you guys. Well, I won't tell you who she is. You'll find out. But hey, have you subscribed to my YouTube channel? Please, if you haven't, please do. Ncube is my name. And if you want me to be talking to you, my details are down below. So please let us know. But having said that, we want to welcome our guests. We didn't travel far today. We are local. We are local. So welcome Tiisetso Ncube. Welcome.
Thank you, Samu.
How are you doing?
I'm well, thanks. And you?
I'm good. You're looking so beautiful. You make me want to do my hair.
Thank you. Winter, you have to try and look something because it's just a cold month. So you have to make yourself look nice.
I'm telling you.
Accentuate.
You know what? I'm excited to be with you on this episode because this is our year, hey? This is our
yes.
Our 44th year.
Yes.
So please tell me. People will be like, oh, Sam, she's always excited to be talking to women. It's exciting talking to women because you know what? Women have got just stories that are that will just uplift you, even as a woman or even as a man. You're watching us. You know what? You got to listen to us, ladies, because hey, we go through the most. But here we are. We're still smiling. Let's get to know who is Tiisetso Ncube.
Tiisetso Ncube is a daughter, a child of God, a woman in ministry, and an aunt, a friend. You know, I like those kind of introductions as they are more relatable because as women, like we wear so many hats. So when somebody says, who am I? You know, I just like those relational definitions because in them, I'm just functioning in so many different roles. My path with God has not led me to marriage. And I like saying I'm married for a purpose because most of the time when women come, it's like, I'm married with this. And some of us actually who are unmarried, not single, unmarried, we actually never tell people that I'm unmarried, you know, and it's not a taboo. But my journey with God specifically has led me on that path. And that's who I am, you know, pastor in all of these things, spiritual mentor to business women and all of those things. So that's the business side, but that's basically me. I love the Lord with all of my heart.
Wow. What is catching me there? Ladies, did you hear that? You're not single, you're unmarried. That's it. That's period. And I've heard women saying, but Samu, you're saying every month and I'm not married or I don't have children. But hey, you're a mother. You're like, now you just said, I'm an aunt, I'm a what? And all these people come to you and they look up to you and they're like, auntie or mama, you know, someone somewhere out there will call you a mother. So if you're a woman, please don't shy away. Come to this show because she has said it.
Yes.
We are,
and you know, I always encourage the women to say, none of us, just because you haven't given birth naturally, it doesn't mean you're not a mother. Yeah. With my journey, God had to say how many are already there on earth who are already not being mothered properly, you know, so who are not cared for, who their mom died at delivery and all those things. So you can never say there's nobody to care for and for you to mother, because that's a nurturing spirit that God has given us. Just because it hasn't happened naturally, it doesn't mean you're not it. you know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, wow, wow. I like that. I like that. There's one part there that you said, and you said you are a child of God, you are a pastor. And many will be wondering, what is a pastor doing with Samu on the African mompreneurs? Tell us, what is a pastor doing with Samu? Why are you here? Are you doing business? What are you doing? But you're a pastor, remember.
So yes, I am doing business. I've started my own company. It's a school, it's a company, called Academy for Kingdom Ambassadors. A company ministry, because sometimes when you're in the pastoralship, the skills that God has given you, you use them within the ministry.
Mhm.
But God had to show me that I cannot cry of an income when I have a skill and when I have like the tools that He's given me, because it becomes an expertise, that you have, that you can actually create. You know how in the Bible it says, God gave one 5 talents, 2 talents, and pastors are really gifted people.
Yeah.
It's just like church has actually limited it to be like give those services for free. And this was led to me by God to say, create this company where you can do these other services outside of the church, because with what I have, it's not enough for me to stand on the pulpit only.
Yes, yes, yes,
I'm
yes.
too much of a dynamic woman. Like I'm too much, So, and then obviously after COVID, you can see that the pulpit was not working.
Yeah, yeah.
And you
Wasn't
had
it?
to now start coming up with listening to God and saying, so this company, it started because I see gaps in ministry where God has gifted us and we are not using, or rather we choose either secular or spiritual. So we separate, to say, if I'm gifted, then on Monday to Friday, I'm this, and then on Sunday, I'm that. With me, it's nice. I get to do both, like Monday to Monday.
You get to do both. That's so nice. So when did Academy of Ambassadors start?
Oh, with every company, what I've realized is there's a backstory, and then there's the date of registration, right?
Thank you. Thank you. Exactly. Exactly. There's a defining moment there.
There's a defining moment when God comes in and it's like, this date, get your papers right.
Yeah.
So I'll just go back a bit. I became a pastor in 2008, and I was very young, still in ministry. And when I got to the place where I was being told to go work, the Lord said, teach the word, don't preach. And I'm like, I didn't even know what was the difference between teaching and preaching.
Wow.
I thought it was one and the same thing.
Yeah.
And the journey of teaching the principles, the word of God, has been since 2008 coming this way. And then in 2015, when my path changed now, then God is like, remember, you cannot teach just from speaking. You have to create things. And there's this wonderful module that I created. With 20 lessons in it, and we would sit as the people of the church, and I would teach them, and I remember God saying to me, I want training schools, I want Bible schools with a difference, and I was like, okay, I really thought it's like, if I'm preaching, that would be okay. And then from that module, then came the online teachings in 2020. So the registration of the company is 2020, but the work, oh my God.
It goes way back.
It's longer than that. So I registered it in 2020, and it's still like at its baby stage, but the experience obviously goes with the owner. The experience is bigger.
Wow. Yes, I understand that. You know what? I'm interested in the before, the 2008. What were you doing? I mean, you are not in ministry. What was happening there?
So when I introduce myself, I say to people I'm a child of God, it's because I studied law and I qualified like a whole 7 years of my life after matric. I went to school, I went to Durban and I studied and I completed everything. And only when I completed everything, God was like, did you talk to me? And I was like, I never spoke to you because I did not have a relationship with you, So I did my articles, I qualified everything about legal, and I was actually getting ready to get into that space. And then, just being sick somewhere along the line and really meeting the Lord in that space. And when I wanted to go back into the legal space, God was like, no, I've given you an assignment. This is where you're supposed to go. So I've been in ministry, full-time ministry for the last 19 years. This is what I do. This is my work. This is where the business side, the company ministry is birthed out of.
Wow, a lawyer. Ladies and gentlemen, listen, you know what? If you thought that pastors are not learned, think again. Here is a lawyer, and here is a lawyer who's teaching, and by the way, who didn't know there was teaching and preaching, but she's a lawyer. Just saying. And
you know what?
She is.
Yeah.
Oh my word. I love that. But hey, when you now answered the call to say, I need to now get into this, I need to now teach, I need to preach. Well, that's where some of us are now coming in, because you now took it upon yourself and said, I'm going to now register, I'm going to do this in a different way. So you've got a Bible school. Please tell me about the Bible school. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to sign up for the Bible school, her details will be down below here, and you can get in touch with her or get in touch with me. I'll link you up. She's got a Bible school and you can do it online. They can, hey? Online. Okay, please tell us about the Bible school.
Okay, so also, I think because women love stories, I always I don't want to do it like those brief answers,
Yes.
So, so the Bible school is that because I love studying, I love the academy, the academic side of things. I wanted to get all my degrees in order and everything else, I did the diploma in theology and I wanted to go further. And I remember God saying to me, I've given you an assignment, which is not to add on your own qualifications, which is now you must go qualify my people. And I was sad, because sometimes when you have ideas about your life, you would want to push a certain way. And this is how I've heard God say, I want Bible schools, but I wanted to educate myself first, because I felt that, no, I needed to up my status. I needed to polish up. And God was like, that's for you, but that's not for me, So then I was like, okay, let me see. So there's two sides to the Bible school. The first side is certification of pastoral ministry, certification and diploma. And this one is the line that helps pastors, that helps the church leadership to be equipped. Because one of the things that has led us into this trouble is that we have people in positions, but they're not educated by the roles. So in terms of the word of God, in terms of structures and systems. So the certificate and the diploma, it's more for churches, but also for people who just want to have a deeper knowledge of God, and say, okay, I've been in this place, but I've never sat down to study, these things, how you can go and qualify and go and study finance, and you can go and study even the work of God. We need to study these things so that we're not just guessing and just going through. So that's the certificate and the diploma side. Churches, usually I've got people in the Free State now registering. I've got people in Limpopo now registering. I'm doing work with them in terms of their churches, where the pastors have called me and said, we've got deacons, we've got elders, we've got people who've been in the church, they've got calling, but we don't know what to do. And then that's where we do these courses. It's a year course, the certificate, and the diploma is the 2-year course. Then the 2020 gave birth to the digital space.
Yes, the digital space.
So the digital space now, it's actually different programs that I run. I do Bible navigation course, which I've seen is lacking in most of the Bible schools, where they don't tell you generally about the Bible or it's too complicated. It's an 8-week program, and I have emotional, it's a Heal Thy Soul program, because also again in Bible schools, they don't help you with emotional healing. You're doing this academic work, you're just studying about the Bible, but my work is more about how does this word now relate back to me. So it's that program and many more coming along the way as, as the Lord permits.
Wow. So the people that want to get into the Bible school, can they do it online? Not besides the online courses that you have, this diploma, can they do it online?
Yes. Because with COVID, what it has taught us is about structuring your business in a way where you have to get online. And basically with the certificates and the diploma, we can do it away from, from people. So one group says, can you come and teach us? The other group is like, can I just get the modules and we'll work online with you? So we are able to do that online, where either as a group or as individuals, and then graduations are usually at the end of November, because it's not a fly-by-night, it is accredited.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Wow. All right. You touched on something there. Because you're saying it's a kingdom academy of kingdom ambassadors, and you're touching the different things that are under it. You touched on emotional healing. As business women that are watching now, how then does Christianity come in with emotional healing, and me as a businesswoman, how does that mix?
Okay. One of the areas that the church has missed in terms of teaching, I've seen this in my life, is that we are triune beings, according to, I'll just go scriptural on you. Yes. According to 1 Thessalonians 5:23, 1 Thessalonians 5:23, which says, may the God of peace sanctify you through in your body, in your soul, and in your spirit, until the coming of Christ. So you can see that man is a triune being. And what Christianity has done on my side, my observation is, they've said, get out of the world, which is your body. When you're told, don't drink, don't do this, don't do this with your body, just because you don't go to those illegal places, then you go to church, then it means you are fine, and then you've made the transition. But what the church has missed is that part about our soul, which is our mind, our emotions, our conscience, and things that have happened on the inside of us. So most people, most Christians are very well versed, but it is at an intellectual level, but not at an emotional level. So this healing of the soul program, it's basically to help people with their backstory. Not really, people like quoting that scripture that says, the old has passed away, all things have made new. But you have to understand it's your spirit that has been made new, but your soul, the conversations, the history, the hard drive of what wrote you as a person, the programming that you have, it's not born again. The program is still programming, no matter how much scripture you have. Why is that? It's because you had to make up things for yourself. You had to fill in the gaps for yourself. So with this program specifically, I help business women to say, do you know that you can be all Christian, all quoting scriptures affirming, but if you're bleeding, if you have internal bleeding, I don't like the word broken, but just the bleeding. If you've been cut so many times, if you've been in wreckage so many times, you need to attend to the places that are bleeding so that you can prosper and live the abundant life, you know.
Okay, I hear you. But you know what? I'm a high achiever. I'm doing my business. It's thriving. Everything is okay. How do I know that I'm bleeding? Because also what touched me is you're saying programming, like your program, your soul, it's not born again. So I'm going on and everything is moving. But how do I know that I'm bleeding inside?
I think for me is what scripture says about fruits, you know. There are certain things in our life. You can never plant apples and harvest grapes or orange or whatever it is, you know. So on the external, I could look like I'm thriving, but with the soul conversation, Samu, is that time when everything on the outside looks perfect and looks in order, but there's still something in me that is crying. There's still something in me that says, if only this can happen, if only this can happen, then I must attend to that. Because whatever I'm going to achieve around me, and I look around and I go for another business and I go for another business, just look at yourself and look at the fruits of your life, you know. And what I find is that people who need emotional healing, they know. Like it's not even, yeah, it's like when you're real and you become self-aware, when you come to yourself and you realize something is amiss. I never have to tell people to say, you need emotional healing. I explain what it is, and I explain what to look for, which is, what is your story? How did you make this powerful woman? Because remember, some women create the persona. I have to wear the power suit. I have to drive the Mercedes. I have to do this. But inside, I'm hiding mother wounds. Inside, I'm hiding. So my mom is dead, but I'm busy trying to prove to her that I can make it in life. That's a wound. That's a soul wound. You know, it's something you're trying to, or your brothers or your uncles, people have said things to you as you were growing up, and you are pushing and answering them through your power actions, but they've actually created a personality that it's not even you. And no matter how big your house is, you know, I love what one man of God said. He's very blessed, and he said, God said to her, no matter how many cars you can only drive one at a time.
That's true.
No matter how many rooms of your house you have, you can only sleep in one bed. Yes. And sometimes we use these counterfeits to try and cover up the things that are inside of us. We can use people as counterfeits. So I'm employing people, I'm rising up in power. It's a counterfeit, because once those people are not there, I still have, I can use material things to try and cover up. But one thing I know for a fact, in short, people who are bleeding internally, they know. And some sicknesses are brought by the internal bleeding. You go to how do you see this? You go to the doctor, and no matter how much pain you are in, the doctors, no matter how many examinations they say they find nothing. Yes. Now it's time to look at your soul and stop looking at your body. That is why I'm saying we are triune beings. Now it's time to attend to your emotions, because now physically they're not finding anything wrong, but something is manifesting physically. It might be coming from your soul, and your spirit could be intact. You could be like a leader in church, but something about your journey is telling you the abundant life of John 10:10 is not happening. And that's when you need to know. I need to pause and visit myself.
Oh, wow. Okay, it's not witchcraft, guys. You need to pause and visit yourself.
No.
Okay. Wow. I like that. And what is it making me exciting, ladies and gentlemen, is that this is our 44th episode. And if it was not for this woman, this would have not happened. this journey, if you guys have not heard my story and I've not shared it, how the African Mompreneur Spotlight happened, I was given the mandate 2017 and it only started 2022, 5 years later. And how did that happen? Because as she's saying that we can be striving, we can be going on, someone is smiling, she's swinging it. You know, she's a Christian, she's praying in tongues, she's doing everything. But inside, she's saying, Daddy, I can do it. And Daddy died 2005. Mommy died 2006. Like, I will rise up and what. I'm speaking to them without speaking to them, trying to prove. But when I reached out to her, I was looking for a sister, guys. And then what did I get? I got a spiritual mentor. All those things that she mentioned, auntie, spiritual mentor, what she's that. My children call her auntie. And I had to go through my journey of healing my mother wounds, of guys having to accept. Some of you're watching me, you've never heard me talk about my mother. I have a mother. Oh, Pastor T, I have a mother.
I know. We found her.
We found her. 2021, she was found. Because now I had to go back and understand, who is this woman who gave birth to me when she was 18? And who is this man who gave birth to me when he was 21? And when he left, we were 12 from 10 mothers. I had to now go and understand his journey. And when I now understood that, I was like, oh, so I've got a father who loved me. Oh, he wasn't just doing that. This is where we are, ladies and gentlemen. So you need to understand your story. You might be striving, you might be having it all, but guess what? There is something that is missing. There's something that is talking to you now, and you need that. And now with this understanding, every time I speak to a woman, I also know that they need the healing, that they need to go through this journey. And I'm a product of emotional healing. I'm still going through the journey. Guys, there's some days where this smile is not there. And it's just buckets of tears. When I first spoke to her, I was sitting in the car and I was telling her about the story about my dad, which I told 1,000 times. But guess what? I was crying. And I was like, why am I crying? Pastor T, you make people cry.
You know what I say, Samu, with crying, it's a way to release, you know, and whether I'm ministering, because I'm also a speaker, and I do workshops on healing. I say to people, we are afraid of tears, because from when this is what I'm talking about when I talk about programming.
Yeah.
Because when you are first born, you are told not to cry. When you are coming up and all of these, there's reasons, there's many things that are programming you to say, tears are bad. Tears are not bad, you know, and you need to be able to reprogram to say, when it's time to cry, it's time to cry. Doesn't mean I'm going to cry all the time, but when it's time to cry, it's time to cry. And we have to raise children who are okay with crying, boys and girls, it doesn't matter, so that we don't have this pressure cooking generation of people who can't express emotions except by violence and aggression and shootings and killings. But they're able to say, I'm not okay, I need space. So tears are good. You know, they cleanse your soul. Tears are good. They release some pressure. You know, you don't have to, sometimes you don't have to say ugly words. Just cry and be fine and wipe yourself and get going. So yes, I do make people cry in a good way. And you know what I love? Once they are healed, the tears stop by themselves.
Wow. Once they are healed, the tears stop by themselves. Ladies and gentlemen, I am no longer crying. Like, guys, like, I can talk about my, like, I can talk about my mom. Like, guys, I can talk about my mom. Yo, those who don't know, I never, not like if you're watching me and we went to school together, tell me if I ever told you about my mom. I never. But last year, she came up. Yo, that woman. I appreciate you, Pastor T. I truly, truly appreciate you being in my life. where I used to say, but I had pastors, but I had preachings, I attended conferences, but here I was just swinging it. I call it swinging it and just going and being a high achiever. And people are like, oh, the mompreneur. But the mompreneur didn't really understand what was in her. And people would see greatness in me. And I was like, why do they say that? I don't know. But I found my value. Like, now I know I'm a woman of value. I know whether you tell me what you're doing is stupid, I'm like, okay, that's your own opinion. Me, I know who I am. Thank you so much for that. Getting back to the Academy of Kingdom Ambassadors, we've talked about the Bible school. We've talked about the emotional healing. What else is under the umbrella of the Academy of Kingdom Ambassadors?
The thing about God is, I always say we come from a God who is the creator, and therefore in us lies the seed of being creators, Wow. And, when you are a child of God, you cannot be non-productive, because then it means that part of God you're not accessing. And with that, I think someone mentioned it as a one-liner to say, spiritual mentor, because the emotional healing is the counseling part. But spiritual mentoring is just holding people's hands who are Christian, who have no one to hold hands with. Meeting your leader on Sunday, sometimes it's not enough. Sometimes you need what we've seen with the online space, creating communities, that community where that if I'm not okay, I can come here. So the academy itself is an umbrella for all things that I've seen missing in ministry. So spiritual mentorship is one of them, because I don't know how, but in all wisdom, I get to advise people about their businesses.
Yes.
And I get to advise them about family dynamics, because there needs to be a balance for the businesswoman to know what to do with the kids, when to do it, how to do it. There needs to be a balance in marriage, whether you are married, how does that fit into? And that needs mentoring, because sometimes you can't be going to your husband who is the problem, or you can't be going to your wife who is the problem. You need somebody outside, and you might not have access to your pastor. So with 19 years, then I do that spiritual mentoring, which is working with people, and soon coming, my book will be coming up under the academy.
You guys, this is a pastor with a difference. Like, look at this pastor. Guys, we're listening to a pastor, right? But hey, this is a pastor with a, she's not looking for your tithes, guys. She's not looking for tithes. No, she's not looking for tithes. Whatever you have to pay for, it's a product that you are getting from her as a businesswoman, because these are things that you would pay anybody else. So why not pay with someone who is even moving in the direction of God, who will tell you this is the way, not like they're fumbling around.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what going back to that, it's what I'm finding, that people who have had emotional or soul wounds, many have been through counseling, but the question I always ask is, if you are a spiritual person and you go for counseling where spirituality is not mentioned, that's not going to solve your problem.
That's it.
That's true. If I'm saying I'm a born again Christian, and when I get there, all I have to do is talk about my mom, my dad, and
the universe,
try and navigate myself minus God. I'm not going, and that is why when I did counseling, God was like, I loved psychology when I was a lawyer. That's why I said I love the academic. So in truth, when I finished my law degree and I was starting to work, I was already first year psychology student. I had completed first year.
How?
And then God came.
Okay. Yeah.
So God came, and then he had other plans. But it's like understanding that we have a language that is not secular. And if you come to me, which is what you are saying about what is different about the academy and other things, is the fact that we need to talk about God and your business. You know, the business hour prayer that we are having every Tuesday, praying for our businesses as a community. This thing of doing things alone is draining us, it's killing us. And because we've been wounded, we don't trust so much. So you are a loner, but yet someone has something that she can offer you, and then I have something that I can offer. So it's about community and belonging. So there are products that are coming, you know, that have to help people in their journey with God, their relationship with God, because most people, they are intellectual, but they're not connected. COVID hit us up, and I want to work with people that's under the umbrella, not only for healing, because some people, as you are saying, thank you for highlighting it, because some people would be afraid to come close because they are thinking, I don't want to deal with emotionally, but that's not all. You might just be needing somebody to hold your hand and say, let's look at the 8 dimensions of your life. Let me give this little testimony. In 2015, my life as a pastor was at its peak in terms of my spirit, you know, verses, conferences, fasting, everything. I was ticking the box, but my emotions were array. You know, they were very low. My mind was, my finances was bad, you know, and God had to show me that for many years in ministry, I had concentrated just on one area, which is the area of spirit. But I didn't grow my mental. I didn't have goals for my mind. I didn't have goals for my emotions. I didn't have goals for my finances. I didn't have goals for my physical life. I didn't have goals of whether I wanted a home or a house. Like, as long as I was in ministry, I didn't dream of certain things because ministry had taken that away. Now, come back 6-7 years later, I've got dreams about owning my own place. You know, I've got dreams about how do I take a holiday. While I'm ministering. I have to have, my negotiation with God is I have to have 2 holidays per year. Like, I have to. Why?
You're going to Zimbabwe, guys. If you're in Zimbabwe, she's coming, but I won't share. But she's coming to Zimbabwe for a holiday. Just saying.
So that is why I'm saying thank you for that question, because somebody in ministry can be saying, I've been through emotional healing, I'm okay. But maybe you need somebody to help you navigate this space after COVID. And we do mentoring, you know, it's a program called Flourish. It's looking at these 8 areas, looking at your spiritual, looking at your emotions, looking at your mental, your environment, your physical, your relationships and finances, you know, and really attending to you as a person, away from being the businesswoman, away from ministry, because I'm sure there are many more who are in ministry and you are hearing me, and I'm called for leaders, you know, I'm called to hold leaders' hands to say, oh, you're doing too much.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, you know what? She's got a group on Facebook. I'm going to leave the details where you can just attend. She's got a Facebook page, and then in a group, that's where now we meet and we are encouraged as women and men. And if you want then to get into her programs with the mentoring and everything else, her details will also be down here. You can join the program and she holds your hand. She's got the capacity, guys. Let me tell you, she's got the capacity to do. I don't know how she does it, but she's got the capacity to handle the high-powered women. Yeah, man. Pastor T, you know what? We can talk for 3 hours. And me and you, we know. But hey, I've enjoyed myself. And I know that many people are going to reach out. Because what you said, that being a spiritual person and you've gone through counseling, you need the spiritual side. And I'm so glad to my friend, Pepe, thank you so much, then Cape Town. She said to me, Samu, you need counseling, and your counseling, knowing you, has to be spiritual, because I know you can't leave God. Because if someone already leaves God out, I'm not there. So now God just led me to you, and this is where we are. And we've spotlighted 43 women, and some, their lives have changed. They're like, I didn't know I was doing business. But it's because of the journey that I had to go through and for the other women to follow. That's why she said she's a leader to leaders. Oh man, yeah. Anyway, what can you leave with us, Pastor T, Coach T, Pastor T, Auntie T, everything? What can you leave us? Because my session, I just have to end it because otherwise I'll take the whole day.
I can leave you with this. Ladies, there is nothing wrong to pause and review what your journey has been. I have this saying, a wise woman can change her mind. Just because in your early 20s and 30s, you made some decisions, if they are not working, please change your mind so that the latter part of your life can be the greatest. You are too important not to heal. In conclusion, the mantra for the healing is that, yes, people advocate and say hurt people hurt others, but I'm going to say healed people heal others, and free people free others. Thank you, Samu.
That's me. That's me. Heal people, heal others, free people, free others. That's what I'm doing. Thank you so much, Ngiyabonga kakhulu. I really, really appreciate you for taking the time. I know you're busy, but thank you for this episode. For me, it was really close to heart because of my journey and because of our relationship that we had. And there was no one else who could take this spot of the 44th episode because this year is our year.
2022.
2022. Oh, yeah, guys, listen, thank you so much. We appreciate you watching. Please join us, subscribe to my channel, and join her groups. Get in touch with her. She's going to hold your hand. I know as business women, we need one person, we need another woman to hold hands with us. And she's here to hold your hand, not as the typical pastor that you have. She's a spiritual mentor as well. She's a businesswoman. She's a businesswoman. Thank you so much. Having said that, this is Tiisetso Ncube, the mompreneur, your host for AfriMoms. Bye, Pastor T, and smiling is my
thank you.
Bye for now.